Welcome to the VET S.O.S podcast. Remember, don't drown to see a transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline. Today, we have a great guest who's going to enlighten us on a passion project he started that's helping so many veterans. I can't wait to jump into this conversation because it's one of those things that's just really cool, and I guarantee you some of you are going to find some great value in it. And of course, this week I had to call in the reliever. I had to call him in. We're here with the one and only Kingsley Scott. How you doing today, Kings?
Hey, what's going on, Sean? Hey, I appreciate. Hey, Keith, thank you for letting me come on and sit in your seat. You know, Sean put up the bat sign. So I see the symbol out there in the sky, and I came running. So thanks, Sean. Hey, Pedro, what's going on, brother?
It's good to be here with you guys this morning. Once I found out that Kings is all the way down there in San Antonio, I was like, okay, we're gonna be friends a little bit today. We're gonna be friends. We're good. That's great to be here.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So let's jump into this here. We got a retired Marine, Pedro Zambrano. He honorably served for 23 years, leading recruiting operations across multiple regions, overseeing performance training and talent development for hundreds of Marines. He is the founder of Veteran Coffee Connection, a weekly leadership and transition forum designed to bring veterans together for honest conversations, practical guidance, and strategic reconstruction after service. Through that platform, he helps veterans translate their military experience into corporate language while rebuilding clarity, confidence, and direction for what's next. His mission continues to center on developing people, driving performance, and helping veterans successfully transition into meaningful life after service. Until every veteran wins, the mission continues. That's just outstanding. I love this. And Kingsley, you'll probably agree with me here. It reminds me a lot of the coffee house, same type of thing. So
Yes.
I think this is great. I can't wait to jump into it. How you doing today, Pedro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, Sean. It's, matter of fact, I actually have one of those conversations scheduled today at 10:30 Eastern. So yeah, it's a full day of, filling the cup. So yeah, no, it's a great Saturday, man.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. So before we jump into learning about this magnificent thing that you've created, let's hear your transition. Tell me how your transition out of the Marines went.
Well, I got a unique deal because I actually did it twice. So the first time I did it in 2004 after I came back from Iraq as a young Marine. So I can resonate a lot with all the young service members. I had that fire and energy of I'm going to be a cop. I'm going to be a firefighter. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to try to figure my life out, and did a little bit of all of that, but a lot of the other stuff, right? So lived that whole life. I eventually came back in the Marine Corps. Feel like I had something left in the basement, like Rocky Balboa, you know what I mean? So when I came back in, then when I fully retired in 2023, I felt like I was ready for transition because I understood that when you leave the uniform behind, people will shake your hand and they'll thank you for your service, but they're ready for the next part. Like, okay, that part's over. What's next? So I had that in the back of my head, and I felt prepared to retire in 2023. I just didn't fully understand what I was going to encounter because it was a different time in my life. I had a wife, I had kids, I had more responsibilities. I couldn't just go out there and just float around in the world. And so my second time after retirement, I really understood that relationships played a big part of your next part of your life. I just didn't have enough, though, to be honest with you. Even though I understood what the environment was going to be like, I didn't have all the right relationships to get me to the right conversation. So while it wasn't as bad as it could have been, it was still good, but it could have been way better had I done more preparation and connected myself to folks who were already living the life that I wanted to go into. And that's something that I learned pretty quick when I retired in 2023.
That's first of all, I love the maturity, right?
Yeah.
'Cause you talk about so many different things there that are just key to transition in general. I mean, first
Mhm.
you talked about adulting. You got to become an adult now, right? And
Yeah.
now you got kids, a family. That means you still got to support some things, right? So, that's a key thing. You talked about networking, the importance of the network, preparation and
Yeah.
planning. I mean, Kingsley, he's checking all the blocks here, man. Like he knew better the second time, but still had some room for improvement. What do you think?
No, hey, Pedro, I just want to say thank you for like, you know what? I need to make sure that I have to fill in the gap, right? Because you say you went in, you came out, you went back in. It's like doing that double dutch. You know, I don't know, you know, back in the day, you doing that double dutch and trying to figure it out. So you don't want nobody else to trip up, right? Because I'm sure that trip happened, right? You know, you stumbled, you know, just like everybody coming out of our thing, they got it all figured out. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be the best person. And then when you get out, like, man, okay, well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work. Now what now? Oh man, I have to go get some food. I have to do something else. And where are the resources? I don't know. It's so much information. And you said out of all places, Dallas.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right in Dallas, man.
And Sean, I just want to say, like, this is crazy because you know I've been to going up to Dallas because the company I'm with they're based out of Dallas, and this is the first time I'm hearing about Pedro's Coffee House up there. You know, like I'm just saying because I know so many veterans that's up there, and it's like, well, I don't know where any resources are here in the DFW area because it's
Hmm.
not heavy. It's not like a heavy veteran focus in the DFW area, not like down here in San Antonio, right?
Oh yeah.
You, you bump around, you know, it's a veteran, literally a veteran at every traffic light, is a veteran at every coffee shop. You know, it's you always see us out here. So we're strong, but in the Dallas area, what I've seen when I go up there is few and far between. But then when one veteran see another, is that instant connection.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so when I started the Veteran Coffee Connection, I mean it's kind of it's funny, but it's also like typical. You know, we get out of the uniform and we're trying to figure out, okay, who do we now bring into our circle, right? The circle changes. All the folks that used to be with us and would call us all the time, that phone call stops. And it's like, I'm still here, man. Like, what's up? Like, I thought we were friends.
So the Marines haven't called you. The Army hasn't called me yet either to check on me. So I mean,
You know how it goes, right? Uh, with the Veteran Coffee Connection, I had a Marine who reached out to me via LinkedIn. So the networking thing was like paramount. And when he did, it was like he wanted to bounce an idea off of two job opportunities, but he wanted an unbiased approach from someone he didn't really have, any ties to. And that conversation that I'd already had a few times prior with others, which would last a couple minutes and just be a one and done, this one turned into an hour-long session. And then it repeated itself a few more times or across the next few weeks. And then I had this idea. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and connect a couple of guys because I don't got all the answers. I just might have all the friends. So, and put us all in a room and a space to where we can provide that mentorship and development because we all know, like when you take the uniform off, you got so much running through your brain. It's family, finance, job, house. Like you have all these items and you don't know which one to pay attention to. And they go, oh, you know what? Still gotta try to apply for VA benefits. Like it's just too much. So I wanted to put a space together where we could have that intimate one-on-one conversation instead of sitting in some big old room being shotgun blasted with all this info and then not knowing what to retain. And from that, I did it in a virtual setting. And I just felt it was the best way to leverage because I'm in a big market. San Antonio, Dallas are big markets. But I thought about the veteran who's like in Omaha, Nebraska, the person that's like in Stillwater, Oklahoma. They're out there in very siloed communities, and how could I reach them? And that's why I elected to do it and launch it in a virtual platform. But I'm about to start doing this stuff in person in Dallas. So when you roll through, I'm gonna have your coffee cup ready, man. We're gonna celebrate.
if they went to Stillwater, they went to the wrong part of Oklahoma. They need to be in Norman with my Sooners, man. They don't need to be up there in Stillwater.
All right.
So, that's a great point, Kingsley, that you brought up too about, resources in Dallas. And that actually got me thinking maybe we need to take all these guests and organizations that we interview and put an interactive map together on the website that says, okay, let me click on Dallas and see who's there. Because our co-founder, Mark Elder, lives in Dallas, Texas. That's
Oh
where he's
wow.
from. That's where the podcast came out of, me being in Savannah, him being in Dallas. So, we have some connections in Dallas. Now we got Pedro on the list too. And, so there's definitely support out there. And I think, an interactive map may be good to help, people really start to see, especially the people we talk to. Obviously, there's tons of organizations, but, okay. So you gave us a little bit of this backstory, right? Of
Hmm.
how it came. So what
Yeah.
what was there something that really was at the heart of it, just driving you? Was it just that desire to still continue to serve and help? I mean, what was it there that really pushed you to start this? Because it sounds like your starting story and our starting story is very similar. It was an
Yeah.
idea. A mentor of mine kind of pushed me into doing this, and I'm thankful he did. It became a huge blessing. But VET
Mm,
S.O.S was a passion project for several years. It still is, but now we're a nonprofit as well.
mm.
So just kind of curious, was it that drive to continue to just help and educate and that type of thing? Was it something deeper? What was it?
Sean, in the beginning, I thought it was for other folks, and then I realized that it was really a part of me, right? And I feel like, well, I believe that a lot of us, when we begin our passion projects, when they're in service of others, it's really a portion of us coming out that we've needed to serve for ourselves.
Yeah,
So as it began, yeah, naturally, the mentorship, the leadership, the wanting to be an answer for somebody. Like, I didn't want to be someone who told the weather, complained about situations, or you just kind of elaborated on discussions, but they went nowhere. I wanted to be someone who could listen, but also provide like bottom line up front, like conversation, and really just give people give them what I would have wanted when I was that young Marine getting out in 2004, or that veteran who, when you retire and you're like, I'm supposed to have all the answers, but I got maybe one. So that was the thing that drove um scaling it to where it's at right now. And it started out with a lot of like, oh, let's talk about benefits, let's talk about resources, LinkedIn, like all the stuff that many organizations do right now because the market is pretty saturated with all these. Let's help you get ready for your next part of your life. And then it shifted to where, and this is funny, but I had a veteran on one of the conversations, and it was all just that in the beginning, right? Like resource, LinkedIn, networking, resumes, interview skills, all that. And it was kind of getting tired. And I love him, Joe. Joe, he's all the way in Arizona. I love Joe Warhol. Joe pops his little mic on. He says, Pedro, what's the agenda for today? Are we going to talk about anything else? And
put you on the
and
spot.
he did. And I was like, dude, hit me right in the heart. But it was the best thing ever because then I was like, you know what? If this is already happening everywhere else, what is something that would also raise the level of this room and this moment? It's 168 hours in a week. I'm just asking you to give one of them to try to improve yourself for your family, your situation, but also for the future.
Yeah,
And it then shifted into let's talk about how we can improve and grow and just make it a room full of mentorship from the person who has said, I'm deciding to get out of the uniform. I haven't turned in my retirement paperwork. I haven't really said I'm going to get out yet. People who are barely going through the transition seminar or they're already in class and they're trying to figure out what the hell to pay attention to, folks who have just separated or retired, and then everybody at the other end that have been living the life and they're original gangsters out there, already got a business, they're in C-suite positions or they're working for nonprofits. I wanted to put them all in the space, but nobody was above anyone. Everyone was in the same room talking about the same thing, and each one could learn from each other. And that's what it's evolved into now. And
yeah,
so no one comes in and actually has the ability to, well, I have all the answers. Actually, you don't, right? Because, you just got a good one that you've been using for a long time, but you've been hiding that one you never wanted to show anybody. And guess what? You just found out another person. And now the networking begins and it's authentic and no one's making it transactional, asking for a favor, asking for, can you help me get a referral to a business or to a company? It's naturally grown from there. And now folks are like siloing after the call and they're like, hey, brother, can we jump on a virtual meeting or can you give me your phone number? And then others are just offering it out like, hey, here's my number. Give me a call. Let's set up some time. I'll be in your area. Let's connect in person. I know someone that's doing that type of work. Or, hey, I don't know that, but my best friend does. And it's evolved into what that is now. So as you asked in the beginning, like, what was it for? Like, why did it start and what was the reason? I thought it was to help everybody else out. And then I figured it was also helping me
yeah,
because it's like, we don't ever really ask questions when we feel like we should have all the answers. And when you got people looking at you like, hey, you're supposed to be here taking care of me. I got, my wife, my daughters. It's like, well, damn, I can't act like I don't have the answer. So I better just fake it till I make it. But
yeah,
it's eventually turned into now where it is evolved and I'm getting so much more than I feel like that I'm giving everybody else out there. So
yeah.
it's an amazing venture.
Man, I get that so much. And like true example of servant leadership, right? You know, you're continuing to give your time and keep this thing going. And you're morphing, right? You change as the need changes, which is just beautiful. And I'm right there with you. And that's one of the reasons why we're still doing VET S.O.S 4 years later is I get as
Wow.
much, if not more, out of these conversations than, we're potentially sharing with the audience. This is I didn't know I
Mhm.
needed this type of thing, and Kingsley, I've
Yeah.
heard you say the same thing on your show, how much you get out of, doing the scoop and all that. So, I mean, this like Kingsley and I met originally through the coffee house, that we were doing before. And, this just screams that same type of thing, man. And I absolutely love it. Kings, what you think, man?
Hey, Pedro, why you in my head right now? I'm like, yo, you saying everything? You saying everything I'm thinking? I'm like, this is so if I'm feeling this and I'm on, so you see I'm shaking my head because what you're saying is what I went through,
Mhm.
is what Sean went through. So just like how you said, hey, there's so many other organizations out there, but you still run across people that never heard about the organizations. I go up there to Dallas. I never heard about your organization, but you see, I'm saying you're doing great things. So many other people are doing great things, but the veterans, and I'm not talking about the OG. So I call the OG veterans the one who stay in 20 plus years, right? Because we got at least we have that network. I'm talking about the the ones that come in for one tour for 4 years and they out and they like, well, I don't need to do my VA benefits because I'm healthy, I'm strong. Like, hey, that stuff will catch up to you. Look, when you get the grays and when you get, you get out the bed and everything starts popping and locking, like, man, how do I fill out this form? But where do I go?
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, let's have a cup of coffee. Let's talk about it. Don't be ashamed. Don't you're not. And this is one thing I had to share with others, right? Because I was like that too, Pedro. I did 20 plus years, and I was still ashamed and initially doing my benefits, right? Because I was like, man, I'm not broken, but when I got it listed out, I say, wow, I didn't realize over expanded time, whether it be long or short, that stuff adds up.
Yeah.
And it comes back later on in life and like, man, I need to get this stuff because our memory is our memory, right? We remember like, oh yeah, that did happen. Oh yeah, that did happen. But here you are in Dallas and saying, look, not only in the DFW, I'm gonna reach out to people in Oklahoma. I'm gonna reach out to the people that's, population is 200, right? There's like one traffic light. Those are the people I want to reach out to because they are the ones that are not being spoken for, right? Because there's just so many. We concentrate in these big areas, but what happened to the small areas? What
Mhm.
happened to the one traffic light areas? And you say, I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna my P in the Pedro means passion. So I'm gonna go out there and gonna reach out and I'm gonna find them. We're gonna have this cup of coffee. And I got the double XL right here. So don't worry. I'm bringing this up there when I come up there so we can sit down and have a cup of coffee because we got a lot to conversate on.
Oh, good, man. Yeah, no, it'll be beautiful because exactly what you said, I thought of the veteran, the young veteran, right? And while I have a lot of passion and energy to want to help, I also have the passion and energy to be like truthful. Hey, man, look, you got a lot of great stuff that's available for you now. 20 years ago, you didn't have LinkedIn, an opportunity to network with over 1 billion folks across this world, right? You didn't have all these other job platforms that exist like ZipRecruiter and Dice and just I mean there's so much out there that's available. And then oh by the way, all the resources that have boomed because of the internet. Like I'm talking the internet, so that's dating me, but dude, I remember getting out and it wasn't even really there. You know what I mean? And so when I see folks and they're like, oh, they're I know they have the best intentions, but they're almost having like a victim mentality. I'm like, hey, brother, we gotta end that real quick. We ain't got time for that. Your family don't got time for it. You don't got time for it. So instead of worrying about yesterday, let's talk about right now what we can do for tomorrow. And I feel like that approach, while at times it's gonna turn off certain people, good. I'm gonna turn you off because my also focus is I think about the young men and young women who are gonna get out and why some of them are like hesitant or they're not trying to connect to bottom line, I thought about me. Why did I not connect with someone that was already out of the military for the life that I wanted to live? Number one is because I saw so many go through so many bad situations and all they ever did was complain about how hard it was. It gave me a sense of fear like, dude, it's going to be hard for me. instead of seeing somebody do well and succeed and want to reach back and be a solution, I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the one that reaches back and says, hey, you know what? You ain't got to worry about that. We've already done the heavy lifting. We might not have all the answers, but if we got one for you, take that one and run with it, and
Yeah.
we'll be here when you need it again, right? And so I wanted to do that piece, and not just for the big markets, because yeah, San Antonio, I mean, it's like a city. The military is a military engineered city, right? Or environment. Dallas, I mean, you got too many $30,000 millionaires driving around here trying to figure out what Tesla they're going to buy when they need to just buy a Ford or a Dodge or a Chevy, right? Like they need to get that done. Um, but the veteran aspect for it, like DFW is a massive, massive market. I mean, and if nobody else is gonna put a footprint, I'm gonna be like on this rock. We're gonna get it done. So that's my take and my approach to it.
Build it on the rock, man.
Yeah.
So it's, I I love what you just said, because to me it's about a hand up, not a handout. I can point you in the direction of resources. I can help you with things I know. I'm not doing it for you. You're
Hmm.
only going to get out of your transition what you put into it. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you
Yeah.
if you put effort into your transition, you can be successful. And
Oh yeah.
I understand that there's issues with the TAP program. There's issues with other organizations, what have you, but nothing's perfect. There is no perfect solution. Otherwise, that's what everybody would use. But you have to understand that transition is a personal thing. This is what you need. When I
Oh yeah.
retired, I had one kid getting ready to start college and one still in high school. So I still had to take into account, where am I going to live? What school district am I going to live in? If I didn't have that and kids were in college or out of the house, wife and I be, living in a motorhome traveling the US, who knows? But, you had to take into account those types of things. Right. And,
Yeah.
that's, I hate to break it to some of the youngsters, but that's part of being an adult.
Oh,
You got,
I had to learn. I
you had
had
to
to
do that
learn.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
But no, man, I absolutely love it. I love what you're doing. Veteran Coffee Connection. Tell us where people can connect with this. How can they get involved with this?
Absolutely.
Give us the details.
So number one, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, which if you're not, you should be, okay? Get off of Instagram and Facebook and these other platforms, okay? You're an adult now. Get on LinkedIn is where you need to go. Uh, and so on LinkedIn, I've created already the Veteran Coffee Connection group. I just recently set that up as of December. I was doing this for about a year with no actual group affiliation or anything at all. And that was just to see the authenticity and how long would it survive. Was it going to be something that just rose and just ended? So connect with me on LinkedIn. I will always post the topic of the conversation the week prior. That way, it's a little bit of a build up to preparing, your headspace for what we're going to be discussing in the room.
I like that.
And if I don't invite you because you're not in my network yet, or you haven't seen the post, but you get referred and you send me a message, I will send you the link directly. And if you're bold enough and just want to, send me your email, whatever you prefer. All right. Not everybody and anyone is invited. And yeah, biggest thing is LinkedIn. If you got to be on LinkedIn, and if you're not on LinkedIn, but you hear about it through here, just connect with anyone who's on this show and on this podcast. Get my information, send me an email directly, and I'll still send you the link. No worries.
If you're not on LinkedIn, you need to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
He just tagged us as we're the old podcast now. That podcast with all them old guys on it.
Wisdom, got that wisdom. Oh,
Oh
man.
man.
So,
Yes.
hey, Pedro, I just want to say thank you. And I got a devil dog up there. His name
Okay.
is Mike Davis.
Mike
He's
Davis.
a Marine.
Okay.
And he's out there, and when I go up there, that's my brother from another that I met him when we went through the program, and he has a lot of veterans out there that he just, like you say, he just conversate with them, and this will be a great place for them to connect. So I'm going to push out your information to them,
Yeah.
and this is and what Sean built here at VET S.O.S. And I'm a firm believer in this tagline right here: you do not have to drown in the sea of transition. Grab that lifeline. And you said it yourself. You went in and came out as the sea of transition. Those waves, they hit heavy. They hit
Oh
hard,
yeah.
especially if you don't know how to swim. Especially if you don't know, you can only doggy paddle for so long. You know,
Oh
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So grab that lifeline, and you're that lifeline in that area, and you're that lifeline to people who connect with you. You're that lifeline.
Oh yeah. No,
So thank you.
I appreciate you. Yeah, tell Mike to hit me up. So I've been doing this virtually now for over a year. I'm going to begin doing these in person here in the DFW area. So when you
Nice.
roll through, there's going to be not just me, there'll be a we in the space, and it really pours back into how you ended that bio. And I wish I could take credit for that whole bio, but ain't nobody doing anything on their own now. Okay. Um, until every veteran wins, the mission continues. Well, guess what? It ain't never going to end because we're not perfect. So there's a continuation of this that's going to keep going and going and going. And yeah, pull Mike in the sites, man. I'd love to connect with him and share a cup of coffee, put a selfie, and we'll send it to you, and you'd be like, "Dang, I need to get up to
Send it to me.
DFW."
I'm coming up there. Hey, it's I-35 North, 4.5 hours. I'll be up there. Just let me look. It's a straight shot. Straight shot. So I just want to, thank you on behalf of the VET S.O.S. and everybody who's listening. I just ask you to do one thing. You like it, you subscribe, you share, you pass on the information to others, because somebody didn't come in here and listen to it, but you did. You have the information, like Sean said and Pedro said. You have the information, and now if it doesn't pertain to you, give it to somebody that it does, that you like, oh man, you know what, this person will benefit from it. And this is how we keep helping each other out. One person at a time. That's it. We're
Mhm.
small, but we mighty. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look, once we link together, look, you never seen nothing like this before, man. That force is powerful. So thank you once again. Hey, Sean, I'm gonna peel back. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm gonna sip on my double XL. I know Pedro got stuff to do, and I'm ready to rock and roll on to the next. Till next time, everybody, take care. Peace.